Hello, it is Sara Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach here for Moon Astrology Tarot. This time we're talking about the moon in Aries coming off of that Pisces lunar eclipse. Listen, whatever came up for you or whatever transpired for you from like the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, pay attention, take notes, write it down, journal it, whatever that was that you were feeling. What did you experience with relationships? What did you experience with emotional processing? What did you experience? What was it? I want you to write it down. And the reason is because that was a lunar eclipse in Pisces. The nodes are in Aries Libra, but the nodes are going to move into Pisces Virgo in January 2025. So whatever the hell came up for you at that lunar eclipse that we just had, you're going to feel that shit again, or you're going to experience it again, whatever it was. So I want you to be attentive to what that was so you can go back and look next spring when I say in a Moon Astrology Tarot video, go back to September 17th, 2024. That's going to explain to you why this is coming up for you. Okay, so and whatever like house placement that is, go to the Virgo sun and rising signs. I talked about what house placement it was for you, your rising sign. And of course you can get a reading and I can go into further detail with you. So, okay, so now we're in the moon in Aries, where the North Node actually is, and the South Node's in Libra, and we have Mars squaring squaring the nodes, and Mars is in Cancer where he is not happy. He does not like being there. It's a water sign. It's not his favorite water sign. His favorite is Scorpio. So Cancer is not his favorite. FYI, Cancer is not my favorite water sign either. But it's nurturing. It's maternal. It's familial. It's ancestral. It's emotional. It's water. It's home. It's nurturing. All of these things. And Mars is not really like that. Mars is more like the take action type of guy. So we have Mars squaring the nodes. We're also heading into Libra season, and I feel like this is going to be a very painful Libra season for a lot of people. And the reason that I say that is the South Node is in Libra, and we're going to have a Libra solar eclipse on October 2nd. I think it's the last Libra eclipse. I think. I've looked ahead to 2027, and I didn't see any more. So but we are not done with Aries eclipses, but this will be our last Libra eclipse. So, okay. And then we have this energy of what's best for me, what's best for you. Do they have to be the same? Absolutely freaking not. Also, what groups serve you, what relationships serve you, what don't. And I don't just mean your romantic partner, your friend groups or whatever. I'm talking about your relationship to money, to work, to your career, to your daily routines. Because what if Libra's in your sixth house? Okay, that could be a thing. Your relationship to clothes or lack thereof, your relationship with your appearance if you have a Libra rising, your relationship with food, nutrition, all of those things. Again, back to that sixth house, your relationship to traveling or lack thereof, third house and ninth house. Okay. So just throwing these things out there because relationships we're in relationship to everything. You're in a relationship with your phone or your device. So that's why you want to be nice to it. You don't want to throw it across the room and tell it it's a piece of shit because that's the phone that you're using as your GPS or as your search engine or your social media to promote your business or your social media to host your direct sales parties. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm pulling all of this out because this is a moon in Aries. It could get a little feisty. And it's also like we're going to get some realizations. Okay. By the way, this is September 18th through the 19th. We're going to start to get some realizations because the sun is moving in on a trine to Uranus in Taurus. Uranus in Taurus is like a lightning bolt, like boom, right? So Uranus in Taurus trining the sun, we could get some epiphanies or a new idea or something. Or something may come out, right? Something could happen because this is an earth trine. So there could be some earth surprises, some earthly surprises, or some sort of epiphanies like that. So these 2 weeks here between the 17th of September and October 2nd are going to be really important as we move through this eclipse cycle. What else do I feel like I need to say? There was something else. They talked about Mars and squaring the nodes. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say about all of that, all of those things. So just be attentive to what is coming up and out and through. And yeah, I acknowledge this is a really painful time for a lot of people. A lot of people are moving through a lot of shit. And I have been there. I really get it. Just know that if you are moving through some painful stuff, like you're grieving or you're experiencing a lot of loss or you're experiencing a lot of life challenges, know that the universe is showing you something, right? If it's taking things away, grieve the grief, right? Grieve the grief, be with the grief. I went through that in 2020 and 2021, where I literally was in grief for months. And so my heart goes out to you. I feel a lot of compassion. And what I will say to that is when you do take the time to grieve the grief, to feel the emotions of whatever is transpiring for you, it's opening up something for you on the other side. And that other side might be 2 years away. So unfortunately, sometimes we have to move through seasons of life where it really feels like it sucks balls and it hurts and it's painful and it's heartbreaking. And there's something for you on the other side of it. So stay the course and be with all of the emotions. Mars in Cancer is not playing around. It's not joking. Neither is Neptune, Saturn, any planet. Their planets are not joking around. There's a lot going on. There's a lot coming through. Cognitive dissonance. You don't want to believe that this is actually happening. You actually are in denial or you want to ignore. Nope, that's not really true. I don't want to believe that. All of the things, right? So, there's a lot of that sort of thing going on. So I don't want to sound like everything is like positive and all of that, because I know that for many people it is not. Okay. And all I can say is that I have been there, and take the time to move through all of it, while maintaining some level of adaptability, flexibility, emotional detachment, like detach yourself emotionally from what's going on with the political theater, right? Let me say this with regards to the political theater. Number one person cannot single-handedly destroy an entire nation. It can't happen, because we're all a part of this nation. If you're an American, or whatever nation you're a part of, if you are in, whatever country you're in Europe or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm just not familiar with how things work in other countries. I'm born and raised here and I've never been out of here. So call me naive. That's okay. I know I am. I acknowledge it. But one person cannot single-handedly, there's got to be a team or a group that is working together to make or break a situation. Like I always say, like it takes two to tango in a relationship. If you're in a partnership, it takes two to tango. It takes two to fuck it up. It takes a nation to either come together or a nation to tear itself apart. So feel into that. What is your role in actually bringing people together? And it doesn't come from being angry or being hateful towards somebody's difference of opinion, right? It doesn't come from being angry or hurtful or mean-spirited about, someone's political beliefs or political views, what their favorite team is, whatever, right? We don't have to all like the same football team. It's football season in the United States, so American football season. So it's kind of fresh on my mind. But the same holds true if you're a baseball fan, right? So your team didn't make it to the playoffs or to the World Series, but it doesn't mean that, it doesn't inherently make the other teams better or worse. Now I get there's a lot of fuckery with sports. I'm not oblivious. That's kind of why I don't pay attention to it anymore. Anyway, but feel into that. Feel into that. It can't be just one person who single-handedly takes this country apart. This country is 250 years old. Okay. It's got to be us as individuals. What are we doing to bring each other together? Okay, I'm going to stop on that because that's more of a Libra topic and we're still in Virgo. But start thinking about that as we move into this Libra season. Like, what is your role in bringing people together, finding some common ground, right? So, okay, stay the course. Feel through your emotions. Know that this is a moon in Aries, that it's going to be feisty. It's going to dig up some stuff because it's a moon in Aries. It's a Mars ruled moon. And Mars is in its fall position in Cancer. So it's swimming in a sea of emotion. So it's going to be a little bit more of a I want to say the word passionate, but I don't mean that in like a like I mean that in more of like a like passion that goes too far. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see what the tarot has. I almost went off on some tangents there. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet, but you know what? I got a lot to say, but I want to save a lot of that for Libra season. Let's see what the tarot has for us. And I do have the Angel Tarot still. Hope everybody enjoyed the eclipse. It was a pretty full moon. Okay, we got the moon upright. This is Ro Laren. This is exactly what I said. Moon upright is illusions. It's right, because the moon can be an illusion, and the moon can bring about illusion. We just had a full moon. It illuminated something, but you maybe don't want to acknowledge it. And unfortunately, that's a large part of this whole Mars being in Cancer for an extended period of time, from now until November 4th, and then from, I don't know, early mid January till mid to late April. A lot of that is what this is the Mars in Cancer is bringing up stuff that we're trying to hold in. We're trying to stay away from. We're trying to deny that, no, I don't remember that wounding from my childhood. No, that doesn't affect me anymore. No, that doesn't bother me anymore. But subconsciously, oftentimes it does manifest. So a subconscious memory or emotional responsivity or reactivity manifests in perhaps like how you express your anger or your sadness or your frustrations, or whatever. Also there's like the whole men aren't emotional and women are too emotional. That's bullshit. Men are emotional. It shows up differently for men than it does women. Women just, we express ours. We're more teary-eyed. We may be more expressive, but men express theirs too, and it often comes out in more more of like, angry outbursts, or men being emotional is more like, why the fuck are there so many men who beat the crap out of their wives? Like, question that. Things like that, because men are holding in their emotions. So I think men not being emotional is complete and utter bullshit. We're all emotional beings, no matter what. So, I feel like this is also a card to remind us that if we need supportive therapy right now, like a psychotherapy or something like that to help us process and manage our emotions, great idea. Great idea. Great idea. All of us are digging up some shit. And we need to acknowledge that. Let's get a second card for that, just because I think y'all like the Star Trek cards. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is Guinan. Wheel of Fortune in reverse with the moon upright. Okay, I feel like this is I feel like with an illusion and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, so this could be it sounds good on paper, but it's not good in practice. It's I say it so many times, it's gold on the outside, smells like shit on the inside. Things can sound good to us in theory, okay? But when you put them into play, they are destructive, or they are not sound, or they are not stable, because the ducks aren't in a row, the I's aren't dotted, the T's aren't crossed. It sounds good on paper, but it doesn't play out well. Okay. Ask anybody from um a, ooh, can I say that word? I'm gonna say it. Ask anybody from a socialist country. Okay. Is it sounds good on paper, but in practice, it doesn't work. Okay. And that's just one example. It sounds good on paper, but it's not good in practice. Let me see if I can come up with another example. It sounds good on paper, but it's not good in practice. It's kind of like when the powers that be, like a CEO or a vice, the big wigs in the company, right? The big high ups in the company make a company decision that affects the low end, the low end workers. Okay. It sounded good when they wrote it on paper and they theorized it and they did their spreadsheets about it. But when it comes down to the actual manufacturers or the workers, it's stupid. It creates chaos. It creates a disruption in their work, and doesn't make their work actually go smoother. It makes it that much harder for them to do, or it creates unpleasantness in the environment or something like that. That's what I feel like this is. And that's what I feel like this Aries moon is like, it sounds good on paper, but in practice, ugh. Okay, let's get the angel tarot and I'll let you guys get out of here. I am still working on the Aquarius experiment. I stopped posting over the weekend because I had a full weekend of good stuff going on. And I'm probably not going to post about the daily stuff because I'm working on back ends of that project. So you'll see more about it eventually. I'm not done with it. It's definitely not done. I'm still working on the Aquarius experiment. I'm just working on different angles of it. So I'm also preparing for some travel. And so, just kind of managing my time a little bit so that I can actually maximize how projects are moving forward. So that's why there's no more posts about the Aquarius experiment. Doesn't mean I won't post about it anymore. I'm just temporarily trying to get a few other things done. Okay, in the Angel Tarot, we got the Three of Fire. Of course, fire is dragons in this deck. We got, what is this? Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. I love this, the make long-term plans thing. And the reason I say that is, I know I was feeling this last week and I was working with a client who was saying the same thing. Like we both are, if you're in a space of like ready to launch the big thing, but it doesn't feel like it's time to launch the big thing. That's why it's because what you're working on is that big to like hold off, and think bigger about it, and bring it into a bigger space of being, right? That's why the Aquarius experiment is probably not going to be talked about every day. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing the things or that I'm not working on it, but it's because of where I think feel like it's going, that it's a longer term project. Okay. So there's more detail-y stuff that needs to be worked through in order to bring it into a bigger space. So I love this card, love dragons. I've had dreams about dragons all this year because it's the year of the dragons. I've had dreams about dragons. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm here for you. We're here through it all. I know it's a crazy world, but we gonna get through this shit together. I promise. I promise. I promise. It's all good. I'm here for all of it. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.